Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Today I'm at Wilmington Country Club, and today we'll introduce you to Gary Cowan. It's his return to Wilmington, where in 1971 he won the U.S. Amateur Championship and did it with a fantastic shot on the final hole. How about an Eagle 2 on the South Course's 18th hole to win it all? And we're at Applebrook Golf Club for a look at their new state-of-the-art Brecker Turf Care Center. Next, here on Inside Golf. The 27th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
Parking is free!
Hey! $4! Yes!
With so many affordable things to do in Montgomery County, PA, go ahead, freak out.
Welcome back to Applebrook, specifically Applebrook's maintenance facility, and I'm joined by Tony Nichols and Mike Conley. And Tony was one of the founders. Actually, it broke ground 1999, I think.
99, right.
1999, so we're up on 25 years here at Applebrook. Mike Conley was one of the first members here, one of the original members at Applebrook. You know, everything needs a little bit of restoration sometimes when you get 25 years old. And certainly that's the case not only on the golf course, but the facility that maintains the golf course, Tony. So when did you guys decide that, hey, maybe it's time we spruce things up, add a little TLC to what we have?
Well, we knew for a while that we had to do something because they were working under the worst of circumstances, and it was something we had to do for a couple of reasons. One was hiring and keeping people. I mean, someone would walk into the facilities that we had, which were the original facilities from the farm, and go, I don't know about working here. Are they running out of money, or what's going on here? And Michael and I started working on this about 4 years ago.
Okay.
With
now,
Jarrett.
Michael, the original facility, you were describing it as a bunch of cow barns, really?
Yes.
That's all you had to deal with here for so many years, and now you've turned it into this state-of-the-art maintenance facility.
Yeah, we had two barns that had 7-foot ceilings. So as Jared said, and you'll meet him later, you know, all space isn't the same. So we had trouble with equipment, you know, with 7 feet. Our new ceilings are up to 16 feet in there, which you'll see in a bit. But yeah, we identified that we had pretty much outgrown it, and it just was not anywhere near state of the art. So we had some environmental issues that we potentially could incur, and you know, as Tony said, staffing and.
I know you're a financial management guy, 9 to 5, but you dedicated a lot of hands-on work here yourself. You're quite a carpenter, from what I can see.
Well, we wanted to have nice finishes in the administrative area, and you know, that's the stuff that comes at the end when the dollars start to get tight. So we took it upon ourselves to do a lot of the finish work. We built some desks, and we did wainscoting in the hallways and also in the break room for the guys, and we built a lot of shelving. And then we took from the temporary facility, we took the wood that we used to build the temporary facility, which they were in from last June up until we moved into here, I guess, you know, 2 months ago. So we took that and we built 750 square feet of shelving for storage both here and on the golf course. We have a pump house up on the golf course. So yeah, we used all that wood too.
So you're sort of like the the carpentry subcontractor here, huh?
Well, it was a one-time thing.
How about it, Tony?
Connolly Construction
There
Company.
you go. Yeah, that's what he does at his part-time. Ask his wife. It took virtually, what, a year almost, right? Not even. It was October of 23 when you began construction of this brand new facility, and here we are. We're not up to October 24 yet. That's a pretty rapid schedule.
It is, and it was supposed to have been done maybe a month earlier, or a month or two earlier, which was, we hoped we could get it done at that point in time. But we're delighted with the workmanship and the product that you now see.
Did you guys go around to other facilities that had done this already and just check out for ideas, purposes, what could be done here at Applebrook?
Yeah, we went to 5 facilities 3 times.
Wow.
And we really did our homework, and we identified what worked at all those facilities. And those facilities were all similar golf courses to ours. They didn't have pools and tennis. We're a golf course, and that's golf course with a clubhouse. So we identified what would really fit for us, and we built this exactly. I don't think we're going to have to go back and do anything more here for quite a while.
Another 25 years.
This is it.
Get ready. Sharpen up your toolbox. Mike Conley, Tony Nichols, they're the 2 of the guys, along with other committee members, involved in really transforming this from Cal Barnes to a state-of-the-art facility. And nobody appreciates it more, I don't think, than their superintendent here at Applebrook. Well, this is Jared Viarengo. He has been here at Applebrook. He's in charge of all the maintenance on the golf course since it began. I just got done talking to Mike and Tony about how nobody here appreciates this new facility more than you, Jared. Why is that?
Well, we worked out of our old facility for 24 years. We'd inherited the building, if you will. It was an old building from SmithKline, and so, tight quarters, we had not enough space, so a lot of creature comforts that just weren't there to accommodate staff and whatnot. So the maintenance area was really poor, so this is fantastic for us and the whole team.
Yeah, what would you say, how much has the square footage increased from the original building to what we have here today?
So we were probably around 8,000 or 9,000 square feet, and now we're probably, with the mezzanine space, pushing 18,000 square feet, 17,000 square feet, wow. which is a fairly, for 18-hole course, I want to say nowadays it's probably sort of an average, yeah.
What has it done in terms of helping you do your job? Okay, I mean, what are some of the things you could tick off for us?
Yeah, well, I think it's much safer, moving around, moving equipment. You don't damage the equipment as much. The communication's better. Because now we have a real designated space to meet. We're using the electronic job board, so we're, that aspect, being able to get, for employees to know what job they're doing, team members know what jobs they're doing, and to communicate that to them, make changes. It's fantastic. And in addition to that, too, the infrastructure of the old facility, the water was rough, the bathroom facilities were rough, and electricity. So we can have more electric equipment now. We didn't have the power to support that. So we're able to add that into our program, which is a nice addition too.
Yeah, and just from a cultural standpoint of thinking how a place like this, I mean, it's spotless, folks, as you can see. What does that do for the morale of your staff?
Well, I think most folks would tell you, or people in this business, that what is going on at the maintenance facility extends out, right? So the better you can communicate, the better care of the equipment, and I think when you have a neat, clean, presentable facility, I mean, that sets the standard. So for you meet in the morning and from the time you go out in the course, everything is neat and clean and put together nicely, so, and organized.
Well, Jared, you've been here, 20 years? You came from Wingfoot. You spent about 4 years up there. Never in your wildest dreams did you think you'd be standing in a beautiful, spotless facility like this. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up in just a moment.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia. Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues at Wilmington Country Club, and I am about to introduce to you a legendary golfer, especially in his native Canada. Folks, meet Gary Cowan. Gary, it is an honor and a pleasure to be sitting here at Wilmington Country Club with you. Wilmington means so much to Gary Cowan. Thanks for joining us today.
It really does. I appreciate being here.
The reason why it means so much to Gary is because back in 1971, he won the U.S. Amateur for the second time. The first time he did it was 1966 at Marion, and then 5 years later, right behind us here on this beautiful golf course, you won the 71 Amateur, and you did it with style. And some people may say you shocked the golf world with the shot heard around not just Wilmington, Delaware, but around Canada and around the United States. What happened on that 18th hole in that match against Eddie Pierce to win it all?
Well, it wasn't really projected whatever. It was just a matter of, how can I say it? I was trying to check the scoreboard, which I couldn't do, and check the pin placement, which I could do, all that stuff, you know, and so on. So anyway, my friend from USGA, Phil Strubing, was sort of on my tail all the time, so I just sort of thought I need to get relaxed a little bit. So, and then I just went out and knocked it in the hole.
Yeah, you had taken your tee shot on 18, and it kind of drifted a little bit to the left, almost wound up in a bunker.
I hooked it. I hooked it.
Okay.
Hit the bunker and bounced
I
out.
wanted to be a little more gentler, but
yeah. Well, I did. I was trying to hook it, and it went too far, and it hit the bunker and rolled out.
Right. You're about 135 yards from the hole, and your opponent, Eddie Pierce, he was already on the green in two.
No, he was finished.
So you take what, 9-iron?
No, it was a 2-iron now. It used to be a 9-iron, but now it's a 2-iron.
It's got a sense of humor, folks.
Anyway, I had been pretty good with shots out of the rough, thanks to a friend of mine, Al Balding from Toronto, Ontario. So anyway, I knew what to do, and I just closed the face, made a good swing at it, went straight up and into the edge of the green, started to roll, and I didn't know that it went in, but Howdy Giles did, because he saw it go in.
Howdy sees everything like that.
That's right.
So you made a deuce, and you won your second U.S. Amateur right here at Wilmington Country Club, huh? And this is your second time back on the property since then, right? You came
That's
back,
right.
what, late 90s?
Yeah.
Played a little golf?
Yeah.
This is sort of a victory lap for you. Yesterday you played at Marion, where in 1966 you beat Dean Beeman for the U.S. Am. Then, as he mentioned, he came here to Wilmington 5 years later and won there. Tell me about the Dean Beeman match. I mean, I read about it, how everybody thought, well, poor Dean Beeman blew the U.S. Amateur, and they hardly ever mentioned who won it. What was this guy? Gary Cowan, right? Down the stretch, you came up with some big holes there.
When an article in the golf world had Dean Beeman, how I lost the U.S. Amateur. So that sort of got me a little, whatever you might want to call it.
Upset, I would say, a little bit.
It's a little more than that. But it took me a long time to come back, and when I came back, and I wanted it at Marion or at Wilmington, and I'm doing the interview, so there's a number of press people and so on, and he says, all right, who's going to ask the first question? I popped up. I am. Who's there from Sports Illustrated? And some fellow just at the corner says, I am, and I'm going to do a much better job than what happened 5 years ago. So.
Good for you.
I got my revenge.
You grew up in Kitchener. What was the golf course that you were associated with up there?
I started at Rockaway Golf Club.
And there's a book now that you wrote. It's called?
From Rockaway to Augusta.
How about that?
Yeah. I was just going to say, and Rockaway is where some real good friends of mine, Jerry Kesselring and Mo Norman.
Everybody knows those guys.
Were 10 years older than me, and so on, and so that inspired me as well to, you know, you get better. You play with guys that are better and you get better. And that's how it worked with me. So Rockaway to Augusta.
You played, thanks to winning the U.S. Amateur twice, you played at Augusta. How many times?
I played 8 times in the tournament at Augusta, but totally I probably played a couple hundred times.
Okay. You were low amateur 1964.
Yeah.
Tied for 25th or something like
Yeah.
that. That's pretty good. And another time, Jerry Barber, of course, a great player in the past, came to you and asked you, you were down there before one of the Masters and
Yeah.
wanted to know if you wanted to play a practice round, and you said sure. And lo and behold, you go to the first hole, and who else is going to join you?
So it's 1967, and I had just won the amateur at Marion. I said to Jerry, we're putting, and I said, it's almost 10 o'clock. Don't you think we should go to the first tee? He said, oh yeah, we can go over there if you want. So we go over there, and Jerry said, let me go ahead. So he goes ahead, and I follow behind and gets over there, and says, by the way, we're going to play with Ben Hogan, and here he is.
Ben Hogan.
So
Mr.
we
Hogan,
played.
how you doing, huh?
Years later, when I turned pro, and every time I would be paired with Jerry Barber, I would say, Jerry, I just want to thank you for letting me play with Hogan. And after about 4 or 5 times, he said to me, he said, Gary, he said, I have to let you know, it was Hogan who wanted to play with you. So.
How about that? You're a pretty special guy.
Apparently.
One other quick story about Augusta. You know how the legend is during the practice rounds one day, they all skip a ball across the pond at 16, the par 3. First guy to do it, Gary Cowan. And you were playing with Ben Crenshaw. He was an amateur.
Yeah.
And this is the 72 Masters after you won here at Wilmington in 71. What the heck? What gave you that idea?
Well, I've been doing that for years. Whenever I'd be near water or whatever, I would always try to skip it across. It's like a stone, you know, you can skip a stone. I thought, if a stone will go, so will a golf ball. So we're up playing up with Ben on the 16th hole. And by the way, that was Ben's first time at being at Augusta.
Okay, he was still at Texas.
Well, yeah, because he won. He was 3rd, I think, at the U.S. Amateur here at Wilmington. So anyway, so we hit our shots, and I go over, I got a ball in my pocket, and I go over to Ben, and he said, what are you going to do? He said, well, I'm going to skip it across the water. So I go and I skip it across the water, and the hockey's just about on the green. He looks at me and he says, well, do that again. So I thought, oh, I'll just do it now. And took another ball out and ran it, rolled across the green, and got it on the green. He said, do that again. Like he didn't know that.
Hey, he's a Texas boy. They don't.
Well, yeah, they got to find out for sure.
Sure.
So anyway, I did it again, and he said, well, let me try it. So Ben is, he's pretty particular. He's like chips stuff and like that. He doesn't really know how to do it. So he takes a couple of pops and goes in the water. He does it twice, and then I said to him, I said, Ben, you got to swing it hard and low, and it'll skip across. Then he did it and got it on. So.
And the rest is history. Now
It's all
everybody
history.
does it.
That's right.
Huh?
Been doing that for, well, started in 72.
Enjoy your round at one of your favorite courses in the world, Wilmington Country Club, right? You're going to have fun out there today?
It will be a favorite, for sure.
All right. Gary, it's a pleasure, like I said.
Thank you, sir. Thank
you for sharing a great lifetime of golf. Gary Cowan. We'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up. Our Teed-Off panel is brought to you by Lulu Country Club. Welcome back. Inside Golf now continues with our Teed-Off panel. We have been hanging out here this afternoon, today, tonight, whatever it is when you're watching, on the back deck at Lulu Country Club in Upper Dublin. And our panel today includes a mainstay. Well, we have 3 mainstays, but this guy's really a mainstay with a capital M. He's Joe Logan from myphillygolf.com. Marty Emino, Golf Association of Philadelphia, Director of Operations and Communication. And from the Swing It and Ding It podcast, and a real lover of the game, Harry Mays, who's been in media in this town for how many years?
Oh, since 2003.
Okay, so the
20-some years.
21-year club. Okay. Harry and Marty, Joe, you know, there's no secret over the last few years, the trend in golf participation has been going upward, okay? And it has included a lot of new people to the game. Other people who have been involved in the game are playing more, but there's a boom, all right? However, ironically, it seems, media coverage of all levels of golf has declined substantially from 21 years ago, whatever. You've been a member of the media, still involved with Swing It and Ding It, your podcast, but would you agree, like it doesn't seem the mix, right? When you got the boom and yet you got less coverage.
No, I mean, there's definitely more people playing due to COVID and you know, various other things, and maybe less coverage, but the coverage maybe isn't in the traditional old school places, but it's out there. You just have to go find it, like podcasts like mine, specific websites. PGAtour.com is a terrific resource with great writers. I mean, CBSSports.com. It's all over the web, and people that, it's kind of endemic of modern day everything. Newspapers on the decline, but doesn't mean people aren't reading about golf. They just have to go different places to get it.
That's true. That's true. But I'm thinking just in terms of like local TV coverage.
Oh,
for
yeah.
instance.
Well,
forget about it. Local newspaper coverage. And Joe, I mean, you worked for the Inquirer for years, right? You were, I guess, a byproduct of cutbacks, right?
I took a buyout and left.
Okay, and that was years ago.
But they weren't doing much with golf.
But today they're doing
oh, yeah.
practically nothing, right?
Right.
But I mean, Harry's point is well taken.
It is. I agree with Harry. Some of the old traditional mediums have closed or shrunken, but new ones like your website, your podcast, my website, Fried Egg, the Golfer's Journal, all these new video. In some ways, it's very exciting. I talked to Tom Cowan, who writes books now. I said, you got the greatest job because you can do video, podcasts, audio, write a magazine, write a book, all of that stuff. That, to me, that's very exciting. Part of I think what has fueled all of this is that PGAtour.com, they want to control their own narrative, their own message in ways they never did before. So they've added more. The USGA has added more. You guys cover your own events. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to cover their own events to give their narrative. Also, players, in the old days, if they wanted to say something, they called a press conference and called somebody like me. They don't do that anymore. Now, if they've got something to say, they say it on Twitter.
Right. Or YouTube.
Yeah,
or
they
YouTube.
just put it
right.
out there.
And so those traditional avenues, plus there's one other factor here, and that is when you talk about golf coverage, there's a dichotomy here. One is tournament golf, writing about other players or reading about other players. But the other whole side of golf coverage is writing about courses and trips and things that, you know, as ordinary recreational players, we don't play in tournaments like that, but we do go on golf trips. That whole other, and those kind of things are booming. You just don't see them, I think, quite, you know.
Something else that's booming, it seems, and credit to the Golf Channel, collegiate golf has really had a high presence, women and men, which is good to see, and these kids are really good, as we know. Marty, you're in the job, though, of promoting the game, Director of Communications for the Golf Association of Philadelphia, the oldest golf association in the country,
Correct.
The largest and everything else. But is it tougher now for you to get the message out there to some traditional locations that once were looking for it and now like, hey, we'll get back to you, Marty?
Yeah, so back in the day, I used to call Joe with story ideas. You know, I've been at Gap now since 2001, so 24, 25 summers. So we used to say, you know, I used to call Joe, hey, this is happening. Do you mind coming out and covering this event, writing a feature on this person? We've really brought all that in-house now. So that's our MO.
You do it yourself.
Gap, you know.
Is that because there's nobody else going to do it for you?
There's a lack of interest
right.
from outside sources.
Manpower.
Also, due to manpower, due to finances, quite frankly. So we've brought everything in-house. We have a good staff. We have 4 of us on staff, and we do everything from television work to articles for the website for, you know, producing a magazine on a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
And possibly, you know, we may be joining the podcast realm here pretty soon. So, you know, we've taken it to the step where if we can't get the message out through other vehicles and other channels, we will make those channels and get it to our members and golfers in the Philadelphia
The old
community.
necessity, mother of invention things still applies, right? Regardless. Well, and speaking of where you can find it, Inside Golf, every edition of our show is seen on YouTube. It has been for years, and probably we're getting more views now than we used to because more people are used to doing, like you guys said, looking for it somewhere else where traditionally it wasn't around. We'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up in just a moment.
Hi, Tony Salucci with the Beacon Group of Companies. If your company has between 50 and 500 employees enrolled in your health insurance plan, there's a really good chance we can reduce your costs significantly and increase the benefits employees receive. How do we do it? We put you together with several thousand employers of a similar size across the country so your company can get amazing buying power. Schedule a conversation with one of our employee benefits specialists today at mybeacongroup.com.
Thanks to all the folks at Applebrook, Tony Nichols, Mike Conley, and Superintendent Jared Virarengo for showing us their brand new and state-of-the-art Brecker Turf Care Center. That is some improvement that they've made at Applebrook. And of course, here at Wilmington, our thanks to everybody for having us back, as returning to the scene of his 71 Amateur Championship was Canadian Gary Cowan. What an enjoyable conversation. I hope you enjoyed it maybe half as much as I did. I'm Harry Donahue. You know, golf's a great game, isn't it? Just ask Gary Cowan. We'll see you next time on Inside Golf. The 27th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.